Welcome back, my dear students. So we are very close to launching our application to the clouds, right? With Heroku. So one of the first things that we are going to be needing here is Git. So make sure that you have Git. Git is this open source version control system. Okay. And as you remembered, I recommended for you to download this in the beginning of the course. For those of you using Windows, to have some type of shell that looks very similar to the Linux or the Mac operating system. So with Git version control, we could save different versions of our application, different versions of our development environment, so that way we can play around with it. Okay, in one version we can do something, in the other version we can do another thing, and it's pretty awesome. Okay, because you can save each and every step. And some of you are already very familiar with this, but some are not. There are free courses out there that can show you how this works. Okay, instead of doing copy and paste and changing folder names, you could create different versions of your project with different features. And then when you're ready, you can merge them together and you can launch them at the end. Okay, and this is what we use when we are doing development with groups and things like that in the real world. Okay, I might create a course on this later. If you want a course on this, you can always request it. But anyway, so there are a couple things that we need to do. So go to your application, whatever that was, and when you're, oh, by the way, guys, for those of you using Git Bash, when you're doing this in the command prompt, make sure, when you're doing this in the terminal, or make sure that you set it up right. I believe out of the bots, Heroku, the CLI doesn't work very good with Git Bash. Okay, so for those of you using Heroku CLI, you might want to use the command prompt, and you can run that as an administrator in Windows. Okay, so make sure that you know about that. So let's go ahead, and there are a couple things that we need to do in order to make this work. Go ahead and do this real quick. All right, so we did this already. We are logged in. So make sure that if you came back, if you did the last lectures a couple days ago, make sure that you log in again and go to your project. And then we're going to do Git init. Okay. But make sure that you download Git first. Okay. Because Git is not going to work, of course. So let's go here and let's go to our project. My project is in, where did I put my project? Volumes, PNY. I believe it's in here. Yeah. So I'm gonna do Git init in here. So I initialize my repository now. Now I need to add it. So we are going to copy this. Okay, remember that your Git bash might not be working 100%. So make sure you use your command prompt for Windows in administrative mode. So Heroku Git :remote -a, and then the name of your application, enter. So now that we added this, now we have to add, oh, before you add anything to your project, let's go and create a gig ignore, okay, file here. I actually have one already. If you don't, make sure that you do. Gig ignore dot git ignore, and then you're gonna put node underscore modules, and I did put .idea here just because I believe my IDE was creating these files here. Okay, creating dot system files with this name. Basically, with this gig ignore, we are going to be ignoring this folder when we push our data to the clouds. Okay, remember that what we're doing with Git is saving the versions of our application right this moment, right? We're gonna save the version, but then at the end we push those versions or that data, we push it to the cloud. Okay, and when we push things to the cloud, there are certain things that we don't want to have there. We don't want to export all this node modules folder. Okay, we don't want to export all this. And if you don't want to export anything else or push anything else, make sure that you put it right here on this .gig ignore file. Okay, I already have it, so I don't have to create it. So now that we added this, now we need to go to our command prompt or terminal, and we need to add everything. Okay, we can add files like this if we wanted to, and then write the name of the file. Like I could just, add this, but we are with the dot, we are signifying that we're adding everything. Okay, that's what we do here. So git add everything in this directory, enter. Now we need to do a commit. Okay, am with a message, first launch. Okay, initial commit, enter. 2 files change, 6 insertions, 2 deletions. Okay, now we need to push these changes to our application. Okay, git push Heroku master, enter. Okay, and as you can see, it's writing, and now it's almost done there. Okay, and this is just gonna take a little bit there depending on your system. So let me explain to you what's happening here. Okay, so with Heroku login, we log in to Heroku API, right, to our application in the background. Then we are adding the actually this already took me to a different. So then we are actually adding our remote server, our remote application to our project, to our development project. And then when we add it, we need to also add all the files to Git, right? So we do git add dot. And then we do commit to make sure that those changes are committed, okay? This is the way it works. So once they're committed, then we can push it, because commit is like saving it in a way, okay? We add it first, okay, and then we commit it, and then we push it to our application. And now if we open our app, it's giving us an error here. Let's find out what the error is. Okay, let's go back to our application here in app.js, and the error here is super simple to fix. Okay, it's because we are actually listening to port 4500. We're not listening to a different port. So we need to make this a little bit more flexible. Okay, so it listens to a production port, to a server on the cloud port. So I'm going to create a constant here. I'm going to call it port, and we're going to connect to port 4500, or actually let's do process.env port, or what you call it, 4500. Okay, simple as that. And then here what we're going to be passing is port, like that, and we could just write port here like this. Okay, now we need to start doing that git. I'll show you add again, because we made some changes. Commit. Oh, sorry about that. I'm gonna do m here. I'm gonna do I can do am as well. I'm gonna do fixed port issue. Okay, now git push actually is, let's go up a little bit to get that command. It's git push Heroku master. Now we push the changes that we created. You see that? See how this works? Okay, so every time you make some type of change, you go git add, git commit, -m, write the message, and then push it to your application. I know some of you are new in this, so that's why I'm explaining it a couple times. Enter, and application still gives me an error here. Okay, Let's go back here and let's study why we're getting some type of error here for this application. Let's go to our database. Okay, and as you can see, CMS user, we have the right information to connect. We have a node modules folder that's getting ignored, so that's good. We have a package.json that is being transferred to Heroku, so it should work. Let's go and create. Let's look at our deploy section here, refresh. It should detect that it is already it is a Node.js application. Oh, I see that. So we should add this npm start, and I'll show you where that goes. Let's go to scripts, okay? And this is where it's gonna go. So npm start, and now here we're gonna say node app.js, okay? So this way Heroku knows exactly what to do with our application. Let's go ahead and do this again. Let's go back here to terminal. Let's do git add dot. All right, remember we are in the project folder. Then we do git commit, and we're gonna say fixed npm start, and then git push Heroku master. Okay, and you can see it right here. Enter. Now I want to tell you what is happening here with everything that we put in here, and we can start creating more commands here. Right here, we can start writing more commands. These scripts that we are creating right here are scripts that we can use with the Node Package Manager. So right now, if I type npm start, this command will execute. Okay. Now I could put another command here. I can do, whatever commands I want. Okay. And I can do clean something. All right. And I can execute this command by doing npm run. Okay. npm run or npm start. So let's just come back here. And now these changes should be good to go. And if we refresh here, our application, it's working on Heroku. As you can see right here, this is the URL. Okay, why did I leave these errors here? Some of you already know why I leave mistakes. It's because this could happen to any of you. You could forget to do that, and then you would spend a whole bunch of time trying to figure this out. You would never know that Heroku needs this here if I didn't tell you, right? If I didn't encounter that error, you would have never known unless you encounter it in the future, and you would have spent a week or two trying to figure this out. Okay, so our app is almost done there in Heroku, and we can log in. Let's log in here because we have our database in mlab. Log in, and as you can see, it's working. Let's create 10 more posts, generate, and now you can see that we have 20 posts. Let's go back to our mlab and let's see what we got. We got 10 posts here, but if we refresh, we have 20. So look at that, guys. We have our app working in Heroku, 100% in Heroku, and 100% in our mlab. Pretty awesome. Okay, look at that. Look at that. Perfect. Everything's working. So what we need to do is we need to refactor this and make it better. Okay, so in the next lecture, we're going to focus on that. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Don't get frustrated for the mistakes. I leave them here for a reason. This is just my way of teaching you guys how to become better than me. and I hope you appreciate it. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next lectures.